So, a couple days ago, we got the latest PlayStation State of Play, and there we got to look at titles like Tekken 8, some PS5 exclusives like Rise of the Ronin or Stellar Blade. We even got a more in-depth look at God of War Ragnarok. But still, we haven't gotten any news from Insomniac Games about Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, Insomniac Games' initial reveal of Marvel Spider-Man 2 was actually September 9th, 2021 at last year's September State of Play. This fits similar to their first game, Marvel Spider-Man's announcement, which occurred at E3 2016 with just a short teaser trailer, and then it was pretty much church mouse until they showed us gameplay at the following year's E3 in 2017. Between all of the events that Marvel Games has been present at, I'm shocked that we haven't gotten anything as far as the game goes other than leaks and, you know, people just talking online and a couple of comments, I guess, from people who are working on the game like Tony Todd or Najee Jeter. I mean, there was San Diego Comic-Con, D23 had a Marvel game showcase, which I get, that's Disney, and Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, which is why I think is probably why there wasn't a reveal. People have been saying like, okay, but Disney owns Marvel and therefore Marvel Games, the hierarchy, but whatever. When it comes to Spider-Man, things are always a little iffy. No news yet on if Marvel Games is even gonna be at New York Comic-Con, but I am holding out hope because I will be there on October 7th and 8th. Come find me and say hello if you're there. Since we've got nothing, I'm gonna say that it's not too late to throw out some of my suggestions that I think would be great additions to the game. We ain't even gotten a release date yet, so in my opinion, they got time. All we know is that the game's coming out in 2023. I don't even know if it's early or late. Really quickly, I'm gonna share with you 5 things that I think Insomniac Games should consider including in Marvel Spider-Man 2. I had a similar like podcast type video with my boy Elite Life Real. I'll include the link to his channel in the description box below. Be sure to go check him out. But these are a little bit more thought out and personal to me as it stands right now. Number 1, Marvel Spider-Man 2 should not release on PlayStation 4. Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, Jay, what are you saying? Like, a lot of people still don't even have PS5s. Like, why would they do that? Hear me out. This past PlayStation Showcase, they actually finally gave, I think it was 2, I mentioned them earlier in the video, PS5 console exclusives. So the trend is starting. Right now, there are not too many games that are exclusively for PlayStation 5, and by not having that exclusivity to the next gen console, they're not able to take their games to the next level. With releasing Marvel Spider-Man 2 on only PS5, the game will no longer be held back by the older technology, and they will be able to utilize just different aspects of the hardware that they would not be able to do if they had to limit the development of the game and downscale it to the older generation. I don't make the rules. That's just, I learned that, and I'm like, I wonder how much better the game could be if it wasn't limited by last gen technology. My hope is that things are getting easier for people to get PS5s. That's the story for another day. But I'm just saying it's gonna be 2023. The PS5 is gonna have been out for over 2 years, almost 3. It's time. Number 2, an option to turn off visual effects and combat motion blur. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this clip right here from the 2017 gameplay of E3 to me was astounding. I thought that it actually looked really cool to see Spider-Man in combat, punching, kicking his enemies, and like they're moving, and the animations really just captivated me, and not having any of the flashiness that kind of ended up being shown in the later on gameplay, it kind of stuck out to me personally. I understand that the point was that they're adding like a little bit of flair and visual aesthetic and like really showcasing the power of what Spider-Man is doing. I just personally thought it looked great without it. And I think similarly, you know, PC games have the ability to turn off certain effects and everything. You know, in Call of Duty, you can turn off like bullet spray holes and the lower shadows and all that. And I think even in PS5 games lately, like I was playing Stray, you were able to completely turn off the motion blur. So in my opinion, you maybe need some motion blur for like Spider-Man swinging around in the traversal. But with the combat, I would love to be able to turn off those visual effects so that I can just really immerse myself into being Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, that's just me personally. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree. Maybe I'm just tripping. Before I get into number 3, I do just want to say, if you are enjoying these suggestions, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more just thoughts from me, especially in the gaming and content space. I'm trying to do some different types of videos, and I'm really hoping that you guys are enjoying these and would love to have you stick around for the journey. All right, now number 3, and of course, if you know me, you know exactly why I'm gonna say this one. Switching between the classic suit and the black symbiote suit mid-combat. As we all know, Marvel Spider-Man 2, based off the reveal that they gave us last year, Venom is going to be included in this game. And of course, with a Venom story, there comes Peter getting the black suit. And as many of you know, one of my favorite Spider-Man games was Spider-Man Web of Shadows, which was one of the most fun and innovative Spider-Man games I think I have ever played. The ability to switch between your regular suit and your black suit and it changing your combat style seamlessly was incredible. And I'm really hoping that they're gonna draw a little bit of inspiration from that with this story that they're gonna tell. It doesn't need to be a carbon copy of Web of Shadows, but it would be nice to kind of almost give the fans a Web of Shadows remastered remake almost via Marvel Spider-Man 2. I say remake because it would be like a completely different story, but again, drawing a little bit of inspiration from there. All right, let's knock these next 2 out. Number 4, expanded parkour mechanics. There were so many things in like the initial teasers for Marvel Spider-Man and then later trailers that showed Peter doing some really neat stuff. And let's just say it was a little lackluster for a lot of those moments to be predetermined areas within the game. Kind of like the helicopter scene. That was one of the only places that you saw Peter like kind of jump from a desk to a wall onto a pole and swing out. You know what I'm saying? So it would be nice to see more parkour animations that are just the norm and not just necessarily in predetermined areas. Kind of like how there were the different areas that you could web zip through and they had their different animations. And then some of them he would obviously always do the twirl, but some he would just like pull his feet forward or whatever. I'm hoping that they basically have those type of animations in different zones. So like if you were to do parkour on specific things, it would be a different tier of animations than the norm of him just like jumping from, you know, stepping stone, like, you know what I'm saying? And finally, we are on to number 5, enhanced stealth mechanics. I would like for the stealth combat in Marvel Spider-Man 2 to include more takedowns, like styles of takedowns. I mean, not just the ground or the ceiling, but wall takedowns, ceiling takedowns. When you're taking down someone, obviously, like while you're perched onto something, that already is a mechanic included. Even chaining stealth takedowns together, like, wouldn't that be super dope? I also want the option to complete bases or missions entirely stealth. That was one of the misses that I think occurred with the demon bases in Marvel Spider-Man, was that, you know, you could only get through the first phase stealth, and then after that it's like everybody just knows where you are, and like now you gotta fight, you know, brawl style. I would like to see, you know, maybe hidden trophies. It's just for those like me who want to be like kind of stylish and flashy, make little set pieces. You know, you obviously have those people who make the videos that are huge combat set pieces for the Spider-Man games. I would love to be able to make like flawless like stealth set pieces and everything for streaming content purposes. I think it would be really fun, and it's like a little, you know, little reward for myself. Who knows, that opens the avenue for some hidden trophies, right? How many different bases or specific missions can you entirely do stealth? I think that would be really cool for all the trophy hunters out there. That's the video, guys. 5 things that I would love to see in Marvel Spider-Man 2 by Insomniac Games. Let me know down in the comments below if there's any of them that you really like, ones that you maybe disagree with. I'd love to just have a discussion. Also, feel free to throw down in the comments below any additions that you think would be really good additions that maybe I just completely didn't think of. Would love to hear your perspective. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.